Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be comparing a 2022 Acura MDX to a 2020 Acura MDX. So you've got the last year for the last generation, and you've got the first year for the newest generation. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Jody Wilkinson Acura for giving me some time with both of the MDXs. Check out their inventory link below. Let's get straight into the video. Going to the hoods of both the MDXs, so starting over here with the 2020, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town, and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 290 horsepower and then 267 pound-feet of torque. Coming over to the new MDX, you have the exact same engine, exact same power figures, but fuel economy is a little bit different. It's 19 around town and then 25 on the highway, so a little bit less. And then this has a 10-speed automatic instead of the 9-speed that you have in the old MDX. So same engine, a little bit different fuel economy, different transmission, and yeah, that's the 2020, that's the 2022. Now let's finish things up with the front end on both of the MDXs. So first off, starting over here at the 2020 MDX, notice that you've got the full LED lights here, and then you've got kind of like the orange accent light down below, and you've got all the chrome accenting here. You've got the fake venting right there. Giant Acura logo in the center with the Acura grille. But coming over to the new MDX, notice how everything's just a lot sharper, looks a lot more modern. So starting with the lights, still full LED lights, but just look how sharp they are. I mean, the lights on the old MDX, they don't look bad, but like a lot larger housing compared to the new one. And then just look at the body lines, how they do everything in the front end. You do have parking sensors here on the front end, and just the new Acura grille, I think, looks a whole lot better. But yeah, I mean, they're both good looking SUVs, but like you got like the futuristic look here, and then you've got, well, the kind of normal look there. Go over the tire and wheel setup on both of the MDXs. So first off, with the 2020 MDX, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels. And then coming over to the 2022 MDX, we've got two 55mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels, and the set in the back is exactly the same. And then as for the design, the old MDX wheels look pretty good. The new MDX wheels look really good. I love the design here on the new wheels. And then notice that you've got the molding here, kind of like a little fender flare, whereas on the old MDX you don't have that there on the side. And then coming over to the mirror, notice you got the two-tone there, and then the mirror here, notice how they have integrated the chrome strip here all along the side, and then you've got the chrome strip that runs down like the SUV, whereas on the old MDX don't really have anything happening there. And then even look at the door handles, so you can see like the keyless entry right here versus the new one looks a little bit more modern. But let's head to the back. Going over the storage space here in the rear, if we start off here with the 2020 MDX, notice that you've got the MDX floor mat right here, and then with the seats, you just pull this little tab, and that's what folds the seat forward. Got a 12-volt power outlet, and then underneath, got some extra storage space. But the thing I noticed is this space right here is pretty much the same as what you have in the new MDX. Now, obviously I didn't look up the exact measurements, but like just visually looking at it, it looks pretty similar. And then notice the seat thing is all the same. The power outlet though is in a different place, and then you still get the storage underneath there, so that is unchanged. But yeah, that's the back of the 2022. That's the back of the 2020. So now we gotta close that one, and then close that one. The button's in the same place, which is convenient. So closed, and wait for it, closed. Now finishing things up in the rear of the MDXs, the whole like badging situation is actually very similar on both of them, except notice the MDX badge is above the taillights, whereas on the new one it's below the taillights, kind of just different. And the taillights themselves, that's a huge distinction. These taillights kind of look a little bit more old school, a little bit dated, whereas the new ones look really nice. And we'll get a closer look in just a second. Parking sensors along the rear, and then notice kind of like the shapes there around the exhaust tips at the bottom, and then all the chrome. And then coming over to the new MDX, these taillights, I think they just look so much better. Full LEDs, look really clean. And then you got the gigantic wedges over the exhaust tips. Parking sensors all along the rear. But again, somewhat similar here in the back end, but just like less modern versus more modern. Now let's pop into the back of both of the MDXs. Starting over here with the 2020, notice that you've got the perforated leather here with the wood trim that goes down below, and then you've got more of the soft touch leather in that little area. Got a little Acura logo down below, and then here are the seats in the rear. So full leather seats. You've got the perforated leather here in the center portion, and then soft touch leather here on the sides of the seats. And then in terms of like the softness with the seats, these ones are not nearly as soft as the new MDX. And then this is just kind of like a little pull down here for a cup holder, all that kind of stuff. And then we do have some vents here in the rear with the climate controls just down below, and some little charging stations, just a couple of USBs. But yeah, and actually I'll pop in so you guys can kind of see. We'll talk about the space here. So in terms of headroom, pretty decent. Legroom, and we'll compare it to the new one in just a second. So let's pop out of the old one and shut that one. So we've got the new one over here now, and you guys can see the door panel here. Again, you got all the soft touch here all on the door panel, and then this trim's pretty cool. Sunshade. The old one didn't have a sunshade. Pretty interesting. Window control right there. I like the look of the speaker. And then here are the seats. This is a huge difference. So look at the design on the seats. Looks a lot nicer. And then if we actually pop into this one, these seats definitely more comfortable, like way more comfortable. The room feels, I mean, I can't really perceive a difference. This setup looks a little bit nicer with the climate controls for sure, and then the charging stations. This thing is kind of, well, you guys can see it comes out with a bang, but that's the back of both the MDXs. Now here's a door panel on the front of the 2020 MDX. So notice that you've got the chrome strip that continues all the way down there. You've got your memory seat controls right here. You've got the perforated leather with the wood trim down below, and then more leather in this area. All of your window controls, and then you've got your mirror adjustments in that little area. That's for the hatch, that's for the gas. And then here are the seats at the front. So you've got the leather here with the perforated leather in the center portion. You got your adjustment there on the side of the seat. And then got the pedals just down below. Got your parking brake right here. You've got your parking sensors, lane departure assistance, stability control, and then your collision assistance. The steering wheel is automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we pop into the old MDX. Now here's the steering wheel in the MDX. You've got soft touch leather around the entire steering wheel, and then you've got like your controls here for the cruise control, the follow function, your lane keep assist, volume controls there on the other side. Got little turn signal / light stock, windshield wiper stock on the other side. And then here's the gauge cluster setup. I'm just going to focus on the fact that it's an analog setup. You do have that screen in the center where you can scroll through a couple different menus, and this is where the drive modes will also pop up. So you've got your comfort, your normal, and your sport drive modes to go through here on the older MDX. But the biggest thing, analog setup right there. And then you've got the whole navigation system here, and if we pop it in reverse, this is where the backup camera also lives. And you guys will notice a big resolution difference between the two backup cameras. As for the infotainment system, it's something you'll also notice a big difference with both of the MDXs. This one, I mean, response time on it's actually pretty good with the screen. It just looks a whole lot more dated compared to the new one. The new one looks really nice, but this is a touch screen. And then you've got the climate controls down below. And then this is just for the navigation to like zoom in or out with the navigation. And then you got analog controls for the rest of the infotainment system. Got some storage here with a little power outlet. And then notice you've got your gear selection here. And this is actually pretty much the same between both of them. Your drive mode selection, your auto stop start, a couple cup holders. And then with the center console, notice that you got some nice storage space in there. And then opening up the glove box, you got storage on the top and then storage inside as well. And then what I meant center console, I said glove box. Guys, I've had a long day. And then you've got the felt there on the inside, and then finishing things up here at the top, we just have a traditional sunroof here. Sunglass holder, you've got the controls for the sunroof as well, and that's all for the old MDX. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front of the MDX. You've got all the leather here in this little area and just down below with all the stitching that goes across it. I really like the trim right there. And then you've got your memory seats right down below. And then over your window controls, you've got your mirror adjustments. And then here are the seats at the front. So full leather, perforated leather there in the center portion. Really nice bolsters. I love the look of the controls there to adjust the seat. Then you got your pedal layout down below, your parking brake, and then notice this is for the safety tech stability control parking sensors. Steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop into the new MDX. Now let's go over all of the differences here at the new MDX. So first off, with the steering wheel, still get soft touch leather all around the steering wheel, but the paddle shifters definitely look a little bit nicer. They're a little bit larger as well. These controls are all pretty much the same, except you don't have any controls here off to the side. But also I think the steering wheel just looks a little bit nicer. Those stocks are actually the same. Now this is a huge difference. You've got the digital readout here for the center stack, and sorry about the sunlight right there. But yeah, huge difference, full digital readout versus having analog gauges in the old MDX. And the benefit of having a digital readout is when you change drive modes, you can change the screen. So whereas the other one just tells you what drive mode you're in, this shows you what drive mode you're in. And yeah, I think the animations on it are pretty cool. I like the sounds too. Sounds like an old school video game. But yeah, that's everything for the center stack on the new MDX. And then as for the infotainment system itself, this is where things get kind of unique here with the new MDX. So the old one had a touchscreen. This one is not a touchscreen. It's all controlled via a little mouse pad. It comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then the camera's also integrated here into the screen. And then you actually get more camera views here with the new MDX. The old one, you just had that one camera view, where this, you have a couple different options you can kind of go between. And then popping down from the infotainment system, you've got all of the climate controls right here in this area. And I should probably put this back in park. But you've got the tri-zone climate controls, pretty easy to use. The drive mode select definitely feels a lot nicer when you change drive modes. The old one is just a button. You guys saw this. You actually have a dial that looks cool, feels fun. And then I like how this is in the center right here to actually change into the different gears, but functionality of it's the same. And then you've got your brake hold right here. You've got your auto stop start, and then that pops up, which is pretty neat. And then you got your little keypad just down below for the center screen, and then your volume control right here, some extra storage. And then this is your wrist rest for the infotainment system controls. Wireless phone charger, couple cup holders. And then you got the center console here, which, you know, pretty similar to the old one in terms of storage space. I like the leather on the top of this a little bit nicer. And then another big difference you guys probably noticed, there wasn't nice leather on the dash on the old one, whereas this one has really nice leather all over the dash. So the interior materials just look a lot nicer. And then coming into the glove box, you guys can see that. And then finishing things here at the top, full panoramic sunroof. Got your sunglass holder, controls for the sunroof, and that's all for the new MDX. Now let's get into pricing with both of the MDXs. So the 2020 stickers for about $52,000, and then the 2022 stickers for about $55,000. So on the surface, there's about a $3,000 price difference between both of the MDXs. However, if I were to guess, I'm assuming that since this is brand new, it's not going to have the same discounts as the previous generation MDX, so the price difference is probably more than $3,000 on the open market. Now, with all these comparisons, we do have to pick a winner, and in terms of us picking a winner, this is going to be based purely off of MSRP. This is not going to be based off the market, because the market always changes. And so if we do base this off of MSRP, and there's only a $3,000 price difference between the old MDX and the new one is the winner for today's video. I mean, a $3,000 price difference is not that much when you're already spending over $50,000, and the new one looks better, better interior, easier to use with the technology, and it drives better. But if you guys want to know if it drives better and want to see how it drives better, then I will have a driving comparison up shortly where I drive both of them back to back so you guys can see that. So go look for that video. And yeah, we're picking the new MDX as today's winner. Now, that is going to sum things up for our video comparing a 2022 MDX to a 2020 MDX. And again, these have the same package. If you guys didn't notice, this was the tech package and that was the tech package as well. But anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to Jody Wilkinson Acura for giving me some time with both of the MDXs. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.